All right, so we'll get started. Today's guided breathwork session
hmm
is going to be, Nate, I'm just gonna have you on mute for just a moment, okay? That's all
hmm
right. Feel free to unmute whenever, ask questions. So let's just kind of start with some themes around the breath first, and then we'll kind of talk about like today's specific practice because we'll have a kind of a certain intention for it, right? So there's a lot of aspects of the breath that we can focus on, and we'll just kind of focus on really this idea around efficiency. So the breath is this communication between the mind and body, right? So it's our line of connection between the consciousness and our subconsciousness. So another way to think about this is we can speak to our body and our body can speak back to us, which is really cool because oftentimes a lot of that stuff like goes under the radar and it's actually hard to maybe access that. So when we do breath work, oftentimes the body really gets amplified in how it speaks to us, right? So um, the practice today is going to be an exercise, and this is really true for most experiential breathing. It'll be an exercise in what we call like state modulation. So state modulation is just the state or the mode that our body's in. So we know that our body can shift from different modes, right? It's like we know that sleeping is a very different mode than running a 5K, right? The state that we're in is going to shift along that path. And it's not an A or B thing. It's not a ones and zeros. It's going to be a gradual shift. So um, that's going to be true for really for all aspects of life. And what we're thinking about is how the body chooses a state to then accompany the thing that we're doing. And so what we get to practice with breath work is like all of the above, right? So we get to be in like all of these various states and experience them in this controlled environment. What this also does for us, this practice, and again, maybe all experiential breathing, is an exercise in energy management. So, in the same idea, kind of in the same thread of the state that we're in, does that state make sense for the context? And so, what is really cool about this exercise is as we play with our modes, our nervous system becomes more flexible. And that flexibility and adaptability is kind of strength in disguise. Like it's efficiency and strength, and our body can accommodate very, very quickly. That's kind of, the human experience, right? We can live in really cold environments. We can live in really warm environments. Some people can be ocean side and we see cultures where like the body adapts to like people just like they dive down and and their body shifts for that reason. And so the human body is always adapting. And so what we want to be able to do is just expose it to the range and so that we can kind of fit in really quickly where like most of life happens, which is somewhere kind of in the middle here. This is true also for our movement system. So when we think about like any joint in the body, it's like if I only operate my elbow from here to here, it's like, well, then I become at risk of injury at this range and at this range as well. So what we do is we expose it to the full range, right? And then all the stuff that happens through the middle is just safer, we're more robust, and we can just adapt really quickly. So today's exercise, today's breath work is really going to be around this idea of efficiency. And so efficiency also, when we zoom in, looks like precision, right? So it's making sure that our mode fits up and aligns nicely with the context of whatever it is that we're doing, right? So what I want you to think about is having the right amount of push, the right amount of pull. And the right amount is gonna have like a subjective component to it. Like you'll be able to detect like, did I overdo it? Did I underdo it? Right? And so if we just give it the right amount, If I'm pushing a rock down a hill or a snowball down a hill, it's like it doesn't require that much effort. I could overdo it, right? But it doesn't really ask for that much. Like we're going downhill. Like let's just give it a little nudge. It's going to take care of the rest, right? If I'm going uphill, like yes, then it's going to ask for more effort, certainly. So that's the context that we're talking about here. And then the same thing goes for like this pulling. And the breath really is kind of has that ebb and flow, push pull in and out, right? Okay. So yeah, give it the right amount and not an ounce more is going to be my invitation for you today. So it's also like don't try too hard, right? It's breathing easy, it's effortless effort. And one more invitation that I want you to kind of consider is to see if you can sort of tap into the version of yourself that is very experienced and has a lot of skill in this. So, what I like to think about sometimes is like Jared, who has been practicing breath work, like maybe this technique for 10 plus years. It's like, well, what would he do in this situation? It's like, well, because he has a lot more skill, 10 more years of experience, he might approach it a little bit different in a slightly different way. And oftentimes just by like prompting that, it'll actually give me like this aha moment of like, oh yeah, like he would kind of do this. Like it's kind of amazing like how quickly and intuitively we can pick up on that. I think about sports analogies quite a bit, and so I'm like, what would Steph Curry do? It's like it's him shooting a wide open three-pointer, you know? It's Muhammad Ali like just bobbing and weaving against like a weaker opponent, right? They make it look so easy, and that's really kind of this efficiency that we're going for in our practice. Okay. So let's next just get into some of the safety considerations here. So for today's practice, uh, position, of course, is the big one. Nobody's operating any vehicles today. Um, whether you're going to be sat or lied down, like make sure that you're just in a very like safe and comfortable space. Nobody's going to pass out today, but we want to just make sure that like if we do kind of like need to rest really quickly, that we can do that. So if you're gonna sit today, yeah, just make sure like you're good. If you're lying down, that's less of an issue, of course. Remember that you always have the opportunity to slow things down. You can pump the brakes, right? You can always return to your normal breathing. So if it kind of just gets a like, little bit carried away, especially when we kind of get into some of the bigger breathing, or even so definitely with the bigger breathing, the hold just kind of obvious. We just take a breath in. But with the bigger breathing, like especially with the efficiency, like what if we just kind of just pump the brakes a little bit? We can do micro adjustments before we need like big adjustments. Like, oh, I have to come all the way back to my like normal breathing. That's perfectly fine. This is your practice and your time. So, do with it what you will. But yeah, just know that that's always the safeguard, right? Just come back to normal breathing. Sometimes too, in the somatic experience, we've heard of like crab claws or lobster claws. That's going to be somewhat unlikely, but not impossible for today's session. And this is just kind of this tonicity that comes into the hands, especially, and it kind of like seizes the hands up and it looks like this. If that happens to you, same idea is like just slow it down. You can literally just pause a little bit and then like shake it out. So anything like this will do the trick. Okay, and then just return to the breath. All right. Um, and then in terms of like what to expect, of course, like the typical sensations that we get usually in the hyperventilation that we do, tingling in the lips, tingling in the hands, toes, genitals, tongue. We'll also often get some like visual things. And then there's also some somatic experience, of course, in the rest of the body. And it's all very unique, honestly, right? So we don't really get these types of experiences unless we go through breath work. There's some exceptions to that, but otherwise it's pretty unique to this breath work experience. Um, but I believe that you've had plenty of this, so no issues there, I think. Yeah, you're pretty well versed in that. And then for today, we'll kind of just like do a little bit of preparation with the body. So what we're thinking about is in order to bring in efficiency, we need to reduce the resistance and the stiffness in these containers in the thoracic space and abdominal space. And the rib cage, of course, is like a really big one. So what I invite you to start with is we'll do a little bit of forward and backward action. And so I call this like seated cat cow. You can kind of see like I'll grab a hold of my knee and then go ahead and like start with this. Like grab a hold of the knee, pull your shoulders back, and then look up. And then now go the opposite way. So like knee kind of goes out, shoulders round, look down, and the whole spine becomes in a flex position. And then reverse. So shoulders back, look up. You're like gonna pull up to your chest, but it's really for the shoulder blades to have something to pull against. And then go back down. Good. Do that one more time. Look up and look down. Good. All right. And then next, let's just get in some rotation for the back. So just start to let's turn to our left. You can use your hands on your knee, maybe use the furniture. Take a deep breath in here and out. Good. Relax. Turn to the other side. Deep breath in here and out. Good. All right. Back to the left. Let's do one more round like that. Deep breath in and out. Notice how just with the breath, like the inhale versus the exhale usually changes the stretch. Okay, one more time to the right. Deep breath in and out. Cool. And then last one, let's just get a little bit of side bend. Let's go arm overhead, kind of reach and create this like banana shape. Again, just kind of, so switch sides. It's just kind of getting some of the resistance, a lot of the stuff that can make it tougher to move our rib cage. Good. And back one more time. And this way. Cool. All right. Let that relax. Let's just do a little bit with the neck. So start with the chin down. Let it relax there. Let the head be heavy. And then you start to let it rock side to side. So we're just going to do this semicircle. Let it build up. Especially if you're noticing some tension here, like just kind of ease into it. And part of what we're doing is just giving a little bit of stretch to these muscles in the shoulders and neck that help us to move the rib cage. And then if it's comfortable reasonably enough, go ahead and get all the way over to the side. All right, cool. So let's just return to our normal position. And then the last thing I'll mention is just kind of the specifics of um, kind of in real time, setting up the camera. So if you're going to be sat or lying down, like just set up the camera so I can see you. And what it allows me to do is one, just to kind of see how you're doing and how you're breathing, and it kind of gives me some feedback on how we're going to pace things. And it also allows you to kind of give like hand signals, right? So sometimes I can, just check in with you, thumbs up, thumbs down, like all of that works. You can put your hand up too, and then I can kind of like check in with you. Those are all good options. Okay. Any questions before we jump in?
Um, I don't know. I usually do my stuff laying down, but mostly because this house leans at an angle. So
Mhm.
I'll try sitting up today. I just need to find a way to make this. I got like a 15-degree angle in the house, so I gotta like push. I gotta literally push myself back with my legs.
Okay.
That makes sense to
Okay.
sit up straight. If not,
Yeah,
my body literally wants to do this. So,
yeah. That's
um,
not that's not ideal. Could
so should I lay
you?
down, you
Yeah,
think?
yeah, yeah. Go for it.
Or I could stick notebooks under this chair. That's something I could do.
Yeah. What's
Yeah,
the lying down situation looking like right now?
I'll just lay down on the floor. But then we need to make it so the camera angle can.
Mhm.
Would you
That's
want it
what.
towards my chest or
Yeah, just like chest and abdomen is kind of the big thing.
in the hand signals? We'll
Hmm.
see. And if not, I'll just stick notebooks under the chair. You're lying down. I just lay down on the floor. That's it.
Yeah,
Oh
same here,
God.
friend. And then I'll kind of get myself in position as well.
Let me use the bathroom quick too, so I don't want to be like in the middle of this and all of a sudden I gotta
No problem. Yeah,
pee, you know?
take your time. I'll just pause the recording for right now. Yeah, so just kind of ease into the position and let the body be heavy. And just as a reminder, we're looking for this efficiency and precision as we move through today's practice. All right. So what we'll start with is emptying the bucket. Let's go deep breath in and then an audible sigh. Ah, good. Now we're gonna breathe in through the nose. Let's go nice and big here. We're looking for expansion all the way in, and then out through the mouth through pursed lips. Breathing out through a straw. All the way to the bottom. Good. Deep breath in through the nose. In. One more. And out through the mouth. Slow. Let it sink all the way to the bottom. Get a deep breath in through the nose again. Again, we're gonna fill it all the way up. Big. One more breath in and let it out. Good. Let's do it again. Deep breath in through the nose. See if you can sneak in a little bit more air on this next one. In and let it go. Good. In through the nose. Slowly, but we're gonna go big still. And in, we'll feel it all the way up to the top lobes of the lungs and let it out. Good. We have just one more breath like this. Deep breath in. Feel it move all the ribs and let it out through the mouth. And once we get down to the bottom, just start secret breath or samurai breath, where it's just very, very subtle. The breath becomes imperceptible. You might not even be able to tell whether or not you're breathing. So stay in the secret breath. And as you stay with this breath, we'll prepare for picking up the pace a little bit of building here. We'll start slow with some long inhales and some long exhales. It'll be an 8-second in, 8-second out, and then we'll cut it in half to 4 and 4, cut it in half again, 2 and 2, and eventually cut it in half again to 1 and 1. We'll be picking up the pace. So wherever you're at, go ahead and breathe out. And then we'll breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In through the nose. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And out through the nose. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In. We're still looking for that big expansion. Full breath here. 7, 8. And out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In. And out. 7, 8. In. And out. 6, 7, 8. In. Nice and smooth. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One more round like this. In. 6, 7, 8. And out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Cutting in half. 1, 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. In. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. In. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. In. Still smooth and deep. Out. 2, 3, 4. In. Out. Find the rhythm. In. 3, 4. Out. In. Out. In. Out. In and out. In, out, in, out, in. We're getting close. Out to cutting in half again. In, out, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, now in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, now 2, in, 2, out, 2, in, 2, out, 2, in, 2, out, 2, in, out, in, out. Switch to mouth if you want. Out, in, 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 out. Find the rhythm. In, out, in, out, in, out. Starting to switch soon. In, out, in, out, in, out. One more. In, out. Now faster. In, out, 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 in, out. Keep going. Good. Keep it smooth. Find that efficiency. The right amount of push and pull. Doing great. Keep going. Work for it. Little push here. And then we'll take our last big breath in 3, 2, 1. Big inhale. One more sip of air in and hold. Hold on the inhale. Little squeeze here, little squeeze. And let it go. And relax. Little pause here. We're just going to linger at the bottom of our exhale. Deep breath in 3, 2, 1. In from the bottom up, nice and slow. All the way in. Little hold at the top. Squeeze your pelvic floor. Squeeze your core. Squeeze the chest. Work it all the way up to the neck. And just enjoy the ease of the breath and how naturally it comes and goes. Next, we're getting into some rounds of relaxing sighs and a little bit more hold, a little bit more breath retention. So we'll do 5 sighs. These are inhales through the nose, and these are relaxing, satisfying exhales. The exhale can be through the nose or through the mouth. Try both, see what you like, and discover what's the most relaxing and satisfying for you. Okay. So wherever you're at, go ahead and breathe air out. And then we'll inhale through the nose and let it out. And again, inhale through the nose and let it go. Inhale through the nose again and try something different this time. See if this one is even more satisfying. In through the nose and let it out. One more inhale. Let it out. And a little breath hold at the bottom here. And pause. Really let the body be heavy and relaxed. And we'll do another sigh in 3, 2, 1. In through the nose. And out. In through the nose. And let it out. Maybe this one's a little bit slower even. So we're in through the nose. And if you haven't tried the opposite, nose or mouth, try that one this time. In through the nose. And relax. Let the body just get even heavier. And we'll do 2 more. Big breath in through the nose, still from the bottom up. And let it go. Good. One more time, really smooth from the bottom up. And then out. In a relaxing way. We're doing another breath hold. A little pause at the bottom here. Just relax. Breath coming in 3, 2, 1. In through the nose. Our last round of sighs. And out. And out. Keep going. 10 more years of breath experience, what would that efficiency look like in our last few summers? Good. We'll pause one last time at the bottom of this exhale. We're just lingering here and relaxing. I'm giving you a little extra time if you want to stay with that breath retention a little bit longer. Give it a little squeeze at the top, brief pause, and let it go. And we're returning to our normal breath. Find this easy rhythm. Created all this space for the breath to now move easily through the mid-range. Relax here for a few minutes. And if I may, just plant a little seed. We'll ask ourselves, what would happen if I invited in the right energy, the right amount, the effortless push and the effortless pull. Now, before we open our eyes, just start to remind yourself where you're at, where your positions in the room. Wiggle your toes and your fingers. Notice your body pressed against the floor. And when you're ready, just start to flutter open the eyes. Thank you for taking the time to choose your breathwork practice today and to choose yourself, your own health and well being. This is one of the greatest gifts that we can give to ourselves and to others. It's a kind thing to do this for others. All right. So at this point, I will stop the recording and and then we can open it up for sharing and or discussion.